Hey, you clicked on my video. Appreciate it. Now be sure to like the video and subscribe to the page. Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Outta My League. I'm Nick Diaz. I don't have to always agree with your decisions. I just have to understand it. And guess what? I don't understand it. LSU is not hosting a regional. Fine, okay? All right, I'm an idiot for believing they would and saying they would. Whatever, laugh at me all you want. I don't really care. It's sports, who cares? They lost that battle. They did. But LSU, they may have also won the war. I'm not going to waste too much time running through why LSU is not hosting a regional. Well, actually, yes, I will. But I will give you some reasons why the NCAA has no consistency to their seeding whatsoever. So let's start with Eastern Carolina, Georgia Southern, Florida, and Auburn. All of those four teams are hosting. So let's start with ECU. Why is LSU not hosting, but ECU is hosting? Well, ECU has a higher RPI. Okay, why? Because they have a better record against a bunch of candy-ass teams in a stupid conference, and the stupid-ass computer system put them higher in the RPI. All right, well, why is Georgia Southern hosting? Same thing. We aren't rewarding LSU for winning 17 SEC games in a tougher conference. We are rewarding what simply the RPI tells us, blindly. Okay, fine. I understand that. It's a fucking retarded reason why, but at least I understand it, and there is some consistency to those two decisions. Whatever. But wait, hold on. Why is Auburn hosting when LSU has not only more SEC wins, but also a higher RPI than Auburn? What happened there? Well, because Auburn beat LSU head-to-head at Alex Box Stadium. All right, fine. That makes sense. Fine, whatever. But hold on a second. There seems to be something missing here. Florida has a higher RPI than LSU, just like LSU has a higher RPI than Auburn, but LSU beat Florida on the road in Gainesville, similar to what Auburn did with LSU. So why is Florida hosting and not LSU? Well, because Florida went all the way to the championship game in the SEC tournament. We value that stuff. Oh, okay, so just 2 or 3 games on a weekend is, more important than 56 game sample size. Okay, fine. So if you have a higher RPI, you host. Unless you won the head-to-head matchup. Or you made a deep run into the SEC tournament. All stupid reasons, but fine. I understand them. But if that's the case, then why the hell is Auburn hosting when LSU won more SEC games, won more tournament games, and Auburn went 0-2 in the SEC tournament? Explain that to me. I can take your disagreement if I understand your reasons why. I can even take your disagreement as long as it's consistent, even if your reasons are stupid. But this is neither. I honestly would understand if the NCAA just said, yeah, we want the host sites with more money and great venues. It's cynical and corrupt view, but hey, we got a business to run. I wouldn't blame the NCAA for saying that or doing that. It's not either of those either, because all of those sites don't sell out at all in the postseason. LSU does. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this. If you're going to feed me bullshit, at least cover it up in syrup. But, having said all of that, here's the good news in all of this. LSU plays better on the road. For some odd reason, don't ask me why, they play better on the road. And now they are going on the road, but what's even better about it is they're not going on the road to the West Coast or the East Coast or the Midwest or wherever. They're going 2.5 hours away to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. That place will be decked out in purple and gold. It might as well feel like an SEC tournament game with LSU fans scattered all over the place. Honestly, may even be more. And the best team is a Southern Miss team that is very beatable and matches up very well with LSU. And the other teams are Kennesaw State and Army. Y'all, that is a giant W for LSU. As a matter of fact, Jay Johnson said earlier today after the selection show, they were hoping to go to Hattiesburg when they found out that they were not hosting a regional in Baton Rouge. and they got what they wanted. But here is what's even more of a win for the Tigers. It's not their bracket, it's the other side of LSU's bracket. The top 8 national seed in LSU's bracket is number 6, Miami. That's not Tennessee. That's not Oregon State or Stanford. Now, they're good, but Miami is also beatable, unlike those teams at their places. Honestly, I think a lot of LSU fans were thinking, I don't care if LSU hosts a regional or doesn't host a regional, just don't be in the same bracket where you have to go play in the Super Regional at Tennessee, Oregon State, or Stanford. But what's more important is look at Miami's draw in their regional. They have to play Ole Miss and Arizona. Y'all, Miami got screwed over. I would be pissed off if I was Miami. It would not surprise me one bit if Miami loses their regional to one of those two teams, Ole Miss or Arizona. All right, it is very realistic that happens. And if that happens, and LSU takes care of their business in Hattiesburg, like they should, guess what? LSU gets to host the Super Regional in Baton Rouge against Ole Miss or Arizona. Now, that's an if, but it's also a very, very realistic possibility. Stranger things have happened. As a matter of fact, a lot stranger things have happened in the NCAA baseball tournament. Now, you can be pissed LSU didn't get a host site, whatever. But at the same time, LSU also got one of the best draws, maybe the best draw in the entire NCAA tournament. Not just location, but matchups and bracket matchups as well. LSU got a W here, y'all. Now, LSU will play Kennesaw State first on Friday. That's their first game. As far as what I know about Kennesaw State, they do have an explosive offense, so it will be offensive heavy for game 1. And Southern Miss, the number 1 team in that bracket, obviously they had a good season, or else they would be hosting a regional. And they got midweek wins over Ole Miss, Alabama, and Mississippi State, all not very good SEC teams, but they did get a series win over ULL and Louisiana Tech. So it's not a gimme. They're a pretty good team, but it's also a pretty damn good matchup for LSU, and the best matchup that LSU could have hoped for going into regional play. Thanks for listening to Out of My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Or follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok in the description link below.